The wizards finally speak up about the OGL. Hell, the wizards finally speak up about OGL 2.0. Dwarven wisdom and rage. Before we get started, please subscribe, hammer that bell, and if you like this video, share. Well, even if you don't like it, share it. The wizards have broken their silence. They have released a letter about OGL 2.0. Let's take a look at it. Here is what Wizards of the Coast say about the open game license. This is in D&D Beyond, and it's by the D&D Beyond staff. When we initially conceived of revising the OGL, it was with three major goals in mind. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D contents from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. I smell something foul. Yeah. Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in Web3, blockchain games, and NFTs by making clear that OGL content is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campaigns, modules, and supplements. And third, we wanted to ensure that the OGL is for the content creator, the home brewer, the aspiring designer, our players, and the community, not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional purpose. Well, point number 2 and number 3, I can understand. The first point, it smells like what comes out of the back end of a goat. Let's continue. Driving these goals were two simple principles. Our job is to be good stewards of the game. Again, the foul smell. And 2, the OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about those principles have wavered for a second. Okay, here, statement number 1. Again, smells like what comes out of the rear end of a goat. And statement number 2, well, same thing. Yeah, the OGL is for the benefit of the fans. Well, that is true, but they want to change it. Yeah, and they say those principles have wavered for a second. Have not wavered for a second. Of course they have wavered. Let's continue. That was why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions they did. That draft language was provided to content creators and publishers so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. Yeah, but you officially never released it. In addition to language allowing us to address discriminatory and hateful conduct and clarifying what types of products the OGL covers, our drafts included royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content. It was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community. But the vast majority of the community create content. You know, I will say this. So far as what I read, this is full of lies. Maybe we need to start calling them the lying wizards. Well, let's continue. However, it's clear from the reaction that we roll a 1. Oh, how cute. It has become clear that it's no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while still staying true to our principles. So here's what we're doing. Okay. Oh, this angers me much. If you have principles, they come from the inside, from within, from you, or from the company. Not because then everybody starts telling you you're wrong. That's not principles. That's actually being a coward. You're actually not standing by the principles you put out on that first OGL 1.1. You actually are running away, even though those principles were bad. They were in the OGL 1.1. Complete cowards. The next OGL will contain the provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment we're trying to build, and specify that it covers only content for tabletop role-playing games. I will say this, and I started making another video, but when all this started happening, I had to stop. This notion that we must be inclusive. I have been playing games, role-playing games, for 40, well, it's gonna be 41 years this year. And for all those years, role-playing games have been inclusive. As I said in another video a while back, the only time we dared discriminate against a player was because they would not get along with the other players, because they actually were selfish. They thought that they were the heroes and no one else. They would not get along with others. Those were the people, yes, that were not included. They were included at first. Let me rephrase that. They were included, but once their true colors were seen, they were not invited back at the table. So again, this stupidity, this foolishness of saying that, oh yes, we're trying to make it inclusive. It has always been inclusive. Well, I continue. That means that other expressions, such as educational and charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, BTT uses, etc., will remain unaffected by any OGL update. Content already released under 1.0a will remain unaffected. You know, you already tried to change the OGL so it would suit you. How can we believe you when you say it will remain unaffected by any OGL update? Again, the lying wizards will continue. What it will not contain is any royalty structure. It also will not include the license back provisions that some people were afraid was a means for us to steal work. Well, why did you put it on the OGL 1.1? You were trying to steal work. The problem was you were caught before you could implement it. Again, the lying wizards say, that thought never crossed our minds. Well, if it didn't, you were fools, because you actually wrote it. The only exception was you didn't say we're gonna steal your work, but you implied it, and it never crossed your minds. Then you are fools. I continue. Under any OGL, you will own the content you create. You said that before. Ownership actually doesn't mean nothing here, if you're the only ones that profit from it. We won't. Any language we put down will be crystal clear, unequivocal on that point. Yeah, you did that already with 1.1 OGL. You pretty much said it. You own it. But we get to use it. We get to profit from it. Oh, and by the way, we get to kick you out and keep your work. If you don't know these wizards, that's called stealing. I continue. The license-backed language was intended to protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work, simply because of coincidental similarities. Wizards, you really think we're fools, don't you? I think it has been proven. The fools are you. As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with partnership in film, television, and digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore. You do not love the game. You only love gold coins, or maybe any sort of coin. Again, this angers me. The new OGL will contain provisions to address that risk, but we will do it without a license. Without a license back and without suggesting we have rights to the content you create. Your ideas and imagination are what makes this game special, and that belongs to you. Well, at least here they get a little bit of what makes role-playing games great. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. But it's coming. Second, you're going to hire people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forces us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. So we have here what I would call funny clown wizards. That last sentence, that's pretty funny. At least they still have a sense of humor. Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL. The drafts you've seen were attempting to do us just that. We want to always delight fans and create experiences together that everyone loves. We realize we did not do that this time, and we are sorry for that. I will say this. You haven't been doing this for a long time. You only have been catering to a small group of people. I continue. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions work and in which they're not. Well, my apologies, let me reread this. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which did not, which we ultimately got from you. Any change this major could only have been done, well, if we were willing to take that feedback, no matter how it was provided. So we are. Thank you for caring enough to let us know what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you. Without knowing that, we can do our part to make the new OGL match our principles. Finally, we appreciate the chance to make it right. We love Dungeons and Dragons, devoted players, and the creators who take them on so many incredible adventures. We won't let you down. But you're already dead. You let the whole community down. Ginny G, for example. She loved your game. She was one of the biggest advocates. She had passion, or she has passion and whatnot. But even yesterday when she posted that we should unsubscribe from Dungeons and Dragons or Beyond, well, she was right. Because that's the only way you wizards would listen. We would take your coin away from you. I don't know what to say anymore. But at least the wizards have spoken. Let me know what you think. I would really like to hear your wisdom. Well, that is their initial statement. Reading these has given me a headache. What are your thoughts on the subject? Share your wisdom in the comment section. Remember, be honorable, be respectful,